3421. Hello. Well, this is the Bradley J. Show Part 2 again. This is the second episode today, and we're with Gary Summers. It's Sohmers, right? Not Summers. That's important to get out there right away in case you have to find him. And he's an interesting guy. We'll find out about him, but he's also involved in an interesting show. We're going to find out about that first. So, Gary, tell me who you are and tell me about the show upcoming. And then after we talk about the show, we'll delve more deeply into who you are and what you do. Tell me about the High Lifestyle Show and what your part in the show will be.
Aloha, Bradley, and aloha, listeners and viewers. I'm Gary Summers, known as the King of Pop Culture, because I know the value of 100,000 useless objects. I've been a producer around this Boston area since the early 80s, producing the Collectibles Extravaganza. And I also was producer on Lansdowne Street for many, many, many years. Now I produce icons, collectible shows, concerts. And coming up this weekend, October 7, 8, and 9, we're producing the first of its kind hybrid trade show consumer show called the High Lifestyle Show. It's for people who enjoy cannabis and entertainment and don't necessarily want to be out in the mud and mosquitoes of a festival. We've got the Whalers, we've got Roots of Creation, Michaela Davis, Barrence Whitfield, Walter Sickert, John Butcher Axis, Tsunami of Sound. We have lots of live music. We have Cheech Marin, Cheech and Chong, Cheech Marin, also from Nash Bridges and all the Disney Pixar movies and stuff. Cheech will be there signing autographs and meeting fans and talking about his cannabis business. We also have John Provost, Timmy from Lassie, who actually has been a cannabis advocate since the 60s. So you're going to get to meet celebrities. We have great programming, seminars and speeches. We have a Broadway show called Cannabis Viper Vaudeville, which tells the story of cannabis and music in the 20th century. Wicked excellent. We've got lots more music. We've got about 80 exhibitors that are cannabis dispensaries, growers, and brands. So we'll be no sales, no buying or selling THC products, but there'll be a lot of smoke in it, a lot of sampling, and a lot of fun. So if you're not doing anything this weekend, Boxborough Regency Hotel is right off of Route 495, right by Route 2. Easy to get to, but you must be 21 to enter. You've got to show your ID before you get on property so that we're a completely legal 21 plus private property space for people to consume cannabis.
Oh, so you won't be able to buy any cannabis there, but you will be able to consume it on the premises.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Wow. That's going to be a pretty smoky event.
It's never been done before where a social consumption exists, but the rules of the state are it's got to be private property. No one can be under 21. There can be no buying or selling. It can't be a dispensary. So we bought out the entire hotel. Everybody staying on property is 21 plus and part of the show. So the Whalers are staying there, Roots of Creation, Michaela Davis, all the exhibitors. So it's going to be a social event for business-to-business activities in the evenings and in the daytime. But entertainment, business, all wrapped up in a nice hotel, nice food, nice people, nice environment.
Well, that seems like a fantastic idea. Whose idea was this? Who put it together?
I've been working on it for about 5 years. I produce Comic Cons in this location, and I love the facility, Boxborough Regency Hotel. And so I envisioned this about 3 years ago. Then we had a plague, so we had to take a couple of years off and wait. But now It's finally up. I'm partnered with Mark Shepard, who runs NECAN, which produces the giant cannabis shows at the Hines and in other states. So Mark and I work together to create a good business-to-business, business-to-consumer mix.
So you won't be able to buy any cannabis there. So you are, if you want, you will be allowed to consume it. Question, and you would need to bring your own or borrow somebody else's.
Sharing. I think the word sharing comes to mind. Be kind and share.
Right. So will you be able to purchase accessories and things like that?
Yes. See, anything that's not infused with THC. So there'll be, edibles of non-THC infused edibles, non-THC infused drinkables, all kinds of things that are, and again, the dispensaries, brands, and growers are going to be showing their products, and they're going to want to get market research from consumers and try and convince those consumers to become brand loyal. How do you become brand loyal? Well, you see it, you smell it, and you taste it. That's the only reason you would then go to that dispensary and buy from them or ask for a specific brand
I see. Or strain.
or strain.
You could. By the way, the phrase a non THC containing edible is an interesting phrase because that would be all food. Everything.
Exactly.
All food is a.
All food.
But I guess the question is, what about CBD? Will you sell that there?
Yes, CBD is legally sold. You can buy it at your convenience store. So yeah, that'll be there. But again, just like brand loyalty in flour and in everything else, brand loyalty in CBD is what works for you. So they're going to want to find new customers and create loyalty for their brands also.
By the
Like
way,
bongs and bowls and all that kind of stuff, accessories.
yeah.
You know.
So flower vapes and all the various ways to consume. That's cool. CBD was huge for a while. By the way, is it still huge, or has CBD faded in popularity and people just say I might as well just smoke weed?
Oh, it's a total different thing. You find sports and athletes and people in that world really using CBD for pain relief and also anxiety. They're under a lot of pressure. They're getting millions of dollars and they got to perform, and they get drug tested. So CBD allows them to be able to have the luxury of the benefits of cannabis without having the stigma. And again, this whole event started when I came up with the theme, which is highly functional people who can function high. The problem is there's a stigma about people who use cannabis. Now, there's millionaires who use cannabis, but also manage all their money. I'm a producer. I use cannabis, and I can produce an event this large, manage all of the facilities and acts and everything about it while on cannabis. So we're trying to break the stigma that users of cannabis are Spicolis or fabulous furry freak brothers. No, we are highly functional people, and we are functioning high.
Okay. Now tell me a little bit. First of all, the date again and where it is, all that stuff, so that people will know that hey, this is happening starting tomorrow, right? So you got to get on it.
This is
It's
real.
an unbelievable thing. It seems like a great idea and a big kind of party, but a laid back big kind of party. I don't
It starts Friday,
party.
October 7th. It is a party. But it's business to business. Where can all these dispensaries, brands, and growers all get together and try each other's weed? Right here. So and then if you were a consumer, how would you go to a place where you could try a whole bunch of different people's weed, meet those brands, meet those dispensaries, meet those growers, and
Right.
have the whalers, Roots of Creation, Michaela Davis, Terrence Whitfield, Walter Sickert, Justine's Black Threads, Tsunami of Sound, all that music. Plus, we got stand-up comedy from numerous comedians. We've got Boston Baked Bingo. You can get stoned and play bingo. We got the Weed Game Show, which is contestants are pretty high. And then we have all kinds of other programming about the industry, about health and wellness and stuff like that. So October 7 and 9, Boxborough, Massachusetts, Route 495 near Route 2. It's the Boxborough Regency Hotel. Most importantly, go to the website, High Lifestyle Show, all one word, because we live a
Right.
high lifestyle. And it's the show. It's HighLifeStyleShow.com. Come and play with us. Guaranteed not boring. And parking is free.
Wow. So is it thehighLifestyleShow.com or just HighLifestyleShow.com?
Just HighLifeStyleShow.com.
Okay, all one word. Excellent. At the Regency Hotel. How do you get there again? It's in Boxborough?
Yep, Boxborough sits right on the intersection of Route 495 and Route 2. Route 111 is the actual exit, so it's like 1 mile south of Route 2. And as soon as you get off the exit ramp, you're at the hotel.
All right, we can talk about you a bit, and then one more time at the end, we'll remind folks about this. You're an interesting cat. For you run Rex. First, Rex is king. What does Wex mean? Wex?
Wicked excellent king.
Wicked excellent king. So wicked
I became
excellent
the king of
king.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I get it.
became the king of pop culture. David Brudnoy anointed me king of pop culture back in the 80s. I used to do his show all the time, every month at least, but sometimes whenever somebody died, he had me on the show, and I would be able to do what we call psychic appraisals. I know the value of 100,000 useless objects. So when somebody describes something, I can tell them about their history of the object and the value of the object, where it's going up or down. So that gave me that king status. You know, Michael Jackson at the time was the king of pop, but David said I was the king of pop culture. So I did that I've been doing that forever. And that got me to, besides producing the giant collectibles extravaganza at the Bayside Expo Center in the early 90s, I got the gig doing the Antiques Roadshow. So for 13 seasons, I was the expert on Antiques Roadshow on pop culture and have over 80 appearances. But it goes back even further, Bradley. You may not remember, but I was the production manager on Lansdowne Street at the Metro when you started on BCN. And the first time we met was your first time concert when Tank and Mock dragged you over and you're like, they said, you're going to do the introduction. I can't even remember. It might have been Smithereens or somebody. I can't remember, but
really?
We had a great time. And I've loved you ever since then.
Man, those are such good days to hear about. You're right. I did not remember that you were the production manager. Well, that's a big thing, putting together a show at the Metro.
9 years I did that. 9 years I did everybody. It was great fun. You get to meet all of you guys, met a lot of people, and now I'm very skilled at what I do.
Yeah. I wish that I had some stuff around here that, here's a spit cup. Is that worth anything?
Absolutely.
It's not original. It's new. So it's probably worth like
whatever you paid for it.
$5. That's right.
Well, it costs more than that to make a new one. But if you had an original spit cup, and I've seen people sell spit matches and John Tassie's spit drink cards, everybody has a nostalgia for that place,
John Tassie was a security person who also, back in the day, it was such a hookup. We didn't even have to ask to get in. We would just go, hi, John, or hi, Gary, and walk in. And they'd hand us a fistful of drink tickets. Those days are gone forever. So how much can you get for a John? How much can you get for a John Tassie drink ticket?
I've seen them sell for $20.
Wow.
And you can't even get a drink.
I heard the other day that somebody sold a Misfit 7-inch for $10,000. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's probably a low price. It must not have been perfect, because I've seen them in the 12 to 15,000 range for that one.
Now, who's going to do that? Who buys that? A Misfit band 7-inch single. Who's the customer on that?
Two customers. One is the nostalgic person, the person who thinks that, man, those were the days. I loved seeing them. I met them at that time, and they're going to put that in. But the second is a speculator, an investor who thinks that it's going to go up in value because of supply and demand.
Right. That is one of the best parts about Antique Roadshow, the thing they've instituted where they show you an old clip, an old show, and then when they rerun it, they show you the current value. They give the estimation back then, and then the new value, and everybody's like, did it go up? Did it go down? I have a question. This is a serious question when it comes to Antiques Roadshow. All the time, when the person is sitting there and explaining about the object, and then the expert explains about the object, and the expert tells the person how much it's worth, and the person, and they say, I think you could sell this for 10 grand. Does anybody ever say, okay, buy it off me right now? I want to yes, I want the money right now. I never hear that. I would, if I had anything of value like that, yes, I don't even want to take it home. I might lose it. I might break it. can you just buy it off me now? Does that ever happen?
Well, people do say that. It doesn't make it into the broadcast show because that's not the concept of the show. When they started the show, it was about education and knowledge and sharing. You know, you might have this in your home. But we were never allowed to solicit or ask or even answer if someone said, "Will you buy this?" We would always have to say, "You can contact me after the taping day and I'd be happy to help you." And many times, people who I gave really wonderful appraisals to contacted me after the show. And I have handled some most incredible stuff. Blows my mind of some of the stuff that people have that they trust me with, and I always deliver. I make them happy.
I want to get to that in a moment, but do the guests get any instructions on how to react when the value is given? Because a lot of them get this kind of frozen face look, like I want to say something, I don't know what to say. I want to be thrilled, but I don't want to seem crass by being thrilled that it's worth a lot of money. Do they get any instructions?
Zero. So there's two different levels of people who make it to they come to Roadshow. Back in the old days, we didn't have all these search engines that could tell you everything about everything, where it's sold, when it's sold, how much it's sold for. Right now, you could search anything. Absolutely. Just take a picture of it. Google will tell you where it is, how much you can buy it for. But back then, people would go to a yard sale and then come right from the yard sale and go stand in line and show us something that they had no idea about. Those were the good ones because then you could actually educate them. Now a lot of people come in, yeah, I've looked it all up. I found out everything you could possibly know. How much is it worth? They're just really crass. And you're right. You get that kind of level of people, oh, so you're not telling me anything. In the old days, it was really a lot of fun because the surprises were there to us and to them. They were never instructed on how to react, and we were only instructed to give qualification of our appraisal. I always gave a qualification, which means if you were going to sell this, you could get this. If somebody was going to sell it after they bought it from you, they would sell it for retail price of approximately this. If you were going to get it insured, in case it burned up in a fire, this is how much it would cost an insurance company to replace that. So when you give those qualifications, the value then has meaning. When you just say, oh, somewhere between 50 and 100,000, that doesn't mean anything, and it's such a wide range. So many of the appraisers fall back on that instead of trying to give the person a clear understanding of the valuation. So there's discrepancies between each of the different appraisers and how they appraise. And in the old days, there was 80 appraisers on site, and they only filmed 50 segments. And we get 20,000 people through the door. So there was a lot of stories nobody ever heard that were just phenomenal.
Do they have some, like a triage at the door saying,
yes,
you got, just go over here, go over here. Oh, that looks interesting. You go over here, over here, over here. Oh, you go over here. No?
They have the triage. It's like, oh, you brought jewelry. Go see the jewelry people. Oh, you brought furniture. Go see the furniture people. You bought a bunch of crap. Go see Gary. It's all that kind of stuff.
That's very funny.
You brought in, who you got to see. But the trick became the producer would choose who got film. And each of the experts would pitch the producer. So the way it always worked for me was I would ask 100 questions to this person. If it was something I really thought should be on TV, I'd ask them 100 questions. Where'd you get it? How long you had it? What do you know? What did you pay? Or all these things. And when I found out from asking all those questions that they knew nothing, that this object was a good teachable moment, and that it was worth good money or a fake, then I would then pitch the producer. The producer would then ask that person 100 questions to see if they fooled me. And if they didn't, then I would not see that person again until we're on camera, mic'd up, and they go rolling. And that's when I tell them everything. So it was always spontaneous, 100% live. I did very few pickups. And the reaction was always the real live reaction when somebody found out whatever it is I told them.
Okay, one more question along that, and we'll get back to the High Lifestyle Show. What kind of things are going up in value now, and what kind of things are going down in value? Pop culture wise.
Pop culture wise, things have cycles. I call it the nostalgia curve. So, people are real nostalgic for certain things when they're about 30 years old. They're buying back their youth. When they're 60, all of a sudden, now they're downsizing. So realistically, everything's on that 30-year curve. So right now, the 90s are pretty hot. And so all that pop culture from the 90s is getting a huge amount of bump. But comic books, for sure, of all ages, all generations, are on an upward trend. They've set world records on comic books. The comic books are in big demand. But during the 90s, there was a huge glut of a lot of comics that there's way more than anyone will ever need. So balancing that between the collector and the nostalgia lover is, I can get it for 50 cents. I don't care how much it's worth, versus, oh man, that's in mint condition. You want $3,000? Is that going to go up in value? Who knows? It might.
Any cannabis related stuff ever show up at Roadshow? Like pipes or paraphernalia?
Yeah. So there's a lot of, in fact, at the High Lifestyle Show this weekend, there'll be a Cannabis Museum set up by Sterling and Kathy Sykes from New Hampshire. They've been collecting vintage cannabis propaganda, memorabilia from the whole 20th century. So you'll see stuff about the original prohibition of cannabis when Hearst decided that he owned trees and didn't want hemp to be used for making paper. And that's when it all started. And you'll learn all about it all the way up to the current modern hip hop trends that embraced it. So there's a lot of history that you'll be able to find. At Roadshow, I saw a lot of that stuff, but of course it didn't make it to PBS.
Do you like it better now that cannabis is legal? Or did you like the old days when it was not?
I like the fact that, I suffer from severe migraines. So all my life, I've always had to find the right cannabis that would, for 53 years, the right cannabis that would ease my migraine pain. And ocular migraine are horrible because all it takes is a glint of light and boom, I'm doomed. So finding access to my medicine was very, I felt grateful. At the same time, the manipulation of the market and the growth of it like an alcohol-oriented business put me off, but I'm very happy that I can go to my local store and support my local business and give them my money that they're going to pay tax on, and therefore supporting my community. I think that's a much better model than having to go, grow it myself, which I'm terrible at.
So for the average person, you think it's worth it to get a medical card? Because it costs $50 a year to renew it, right? And you may have to pay the physician to give it to you as well. Am I right? But you don't have to pay if you buy a lot of cannabis, you save because you don't have to pay the 20% tax.
You save on the tax, but also there's a lot of dispensaries. As soon as you get your card or get it renewed, they give you like $200 worth of free weed over the course of the month. Like if you come and you buy $100 worth of weed, they give it to you for $50 just during the month after you've bought you paid for your medical card. So they're supporting the growth of the medical industry by giving discounts to the new medical patients each year. So each year I go to like 4 different dispensaries after I get my card, and I stock up for a few months.
Right. When it first became legal, there were only a few dispensaries, one in my neighborhood, and it was just a mob scene. It was crowded. It was an unpleasant experience. And is it better for a medical-only dispensary? Is it a much more pleasant experience?
Most of the dispensaries that I've been to are both. They're recreational and medical. But yes, you're right. The fervor has died down. They've even now expanded their hours. They used to be 10 till 5. Now, the 2 of them near me, and they're like within a quarter mile of each other. They're both open from 8 a.m. till 8 p.m. They're just trying to get it's becoming like liquor stores, and CVS. So if you think of a giant liquor store chain and a giant CVS chain, the medical ones are there for you also, but the recreational ones will sell to anybody that's over 21. Okay.
I could talk to you forever, but we need to talk about the High Lifestyle Show again because it's such a cool thing. HighLifeStyleShow, one word, HighLifeStyleShow.com to get all the details. But Gary's going to tell you all the details again, the who, what, when, where, why. 1, 2, 3, go.
The High Lifestyle Show takes place October 7, 8, and 9 in Boxborough, Massachusetts at the Boxborough Regency Hotel. You can get all the details at HighLifeStyleShow.com. We have Cheech Marin. Yes, Cheech and Chong. Cheech Marin will be there signing autographs and fans, doing an interview on stage on Sunday, and doing the keynote address for the trade on Saturday night. Also appearing will be John Provost, Timmy from Lassie, plus special musical performances on Friday, Roots of Creation. Saturday, Michaela Davis, Barrett Whitfield, Walter Sickert, The Army of Broken Toys, and Tsunami Sound. On Sunday, starts off with Justine and Black Threads, followed by John Butcher Axis, and the show closes with the Wailers. But there's also live stand-up comedy all weekend, DJ Slim, the Bliss Bus. Also, oh my God, there's so much going on. It's the Broadway show. Go to the website, HighLifeStyleShow.com. Did I mention there's going to be cannabis all over because it's a BYOC show? You must be 21 to get on property. Have your ID ready when you drive up. Buy your tickets in advance and come and enjoy with us. We're having a party.
So you can smoke cannabis. You have to bring your own. You cannot buy it, but you can share. You can bring yours and try yours, and then you can try somebody else's and see how they compare. Of course, it is difficult because once you've tried one, you have a buzz, and you're not going to know how the other one really would be by itself, but still, you can figure out the taste and all. A lot going on. I think that's a magnificent idea, and I'm glad it finally came to fruition, and I'm glad you're the boss of it because you're so cool.
Thank you, Bradley. It's always fun to talk with you. Let's do it again.
Okay, it's Gary Summers, Sohmers, and Gary's shop, or Gary's, is it a brick and mortar shop still?
Oh, no, I just wheel and deal stuff. That's just Wex Rex is what I've been known as for 40 years. So people think my name's Wex Rex. I just tell them, call me Wex Rex, Tex-Mex, anything but late for sex. And thank you so much.
Wex Rex stands for Wicked Excellent King, Pop King. Oh, something like that. Okay, everybody, have a good time at the High Lifestyle Show. Thank you, Gary, for taking the time to tell us about it.
Thank you, Bradley. Aloha, everybody. Stay groovy.
And everyone, share this in case someone didn't see what we just did here that may really want to know about this event. Share. That's big, big, big. Share. Thank you, Gary. Bye-bye.